Hi, everyone. Hey, Kelly. Nice hat. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Faye. Who else do I know? There's lots of names. Hi, Mom. There's Mom. Bethany. I'm doing my romper room welcome. Showing my age again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night group. Going to give everybody a couple more minutes and then I will introduce our facilitator. How's everybody doing? I can't believe that we have one more week of October. This year is just flying by. Love that hat, Kelly. You look very cute.
It was hat day and my hair's a mess. So I wore the hat all day. So my hair is like,
You have hat hair, hat hair, yeah,
so I
hat
just
head.
left the hat on.
I like it. It's good colors, good colors.
Thank you.
All right, I think Kathy's having a hard time getting in. We had a lot of registrants, but as always, we all have the best intentions, and when the time actually comes to log in, some of us might pass out on the couch and, it's those kind of days. Hi, Kathy. You made it in. Okay, so I want to just give you a funny little backstory that Tina Blandford Noyes was Noyes, right? Noyes. Yes, I said it right.
Correct.
So we've been friends on Facebook for forever. And I was trying to remember right before I let all you guys in how we met. Because during our back and forth about doing this workshop, she said that she wasn't a school teacher, but she was a school aide and all of that stuff. I said, okay, so if you're not a teacher, how did we meet? And it's really amazing how little connections just it's a small world. So we met through a friend of mine who's a teacher in Virginia, who I met when I did a week-long professional development in Washington, D.C. through museums. And she invited me into the Virginia Art Teachers Association, who sponsored at the time of the beginning of COVID was doing Friday night draws where all the art teacher colleagues would get together during COVID on a Friday night and hang out and draw. And then the leader of that group invited me into artist trading card group. And that's where Tina and I connected. We kept getting each other's cards traded back and forth. That's how I knew her name. And that's how we connected. And it took me it was like, oh my God, how did we know each other after all this time? So crazy. So, I love your trading cards. I have since stopped doing them because there's just so much on my plate. But I miss doing them every month. That was a lot of fun. But so I'm gonna turn this over to Tina, and she has a really different and exciting project to do tonight. And I'm gonna spotlight you if that's okay. So we
Okay.
can see your lovely face, and then this is the camera that's gonna switch down, right? You
This
said?
is the camera that's going to switch down. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so take it away, Tina.
Well, hello, everyone from the Great White North, although it's not that white just yet. I live in Alberta, Canada, and I am currently self-employed. I do art classes for children and adults, and um, but I used to be an educational assistant on a Hutterite colony. Now, I don't know if you know what a Hutterite colony is, but it is a German group of people that live in a commune style of living where they are heavily focused on farming and raising their children off the grid type thing. And they're not like Mennonites though, where like they still use, or Amish, they still embrace technology and that sort of thing. But I worked in a multi-graded classroom, and so I would have to do art with kids that were 5 years old all the way up to 15 years old, and that was a lot of fun. This project came about as I was trying to come up with a interesting thing for teens to do at the start of uh, my business, my personal business, which is called Piece of Cake Art Hub. I wanted to name it the Bee's Knees because I thought that was really cute, but it was already taken. So now I started, let's see, I'm a quilter, so I really like to incorporate fibers and doing tactile things. And by taking both paint and thread and creating our lines, doing it that way, I think it's far more interesting. And it taps into that ability to sew. This is a very basic stitch. On the back side of it, it doesn't matter if it's a big mess because it's not going to be seen. Yeah, so I think, I don't know, does anybody have any questions for me thus far?
I'm curious, have you ever heard of the Waldorf schools in the US?
Yes, I have.
So is that similar to where you were teaching? Because I have experience in those schools as well.
Well,
It
I
seems like it.
heard of Waldorf schools, but I don't really have a point of reference on them. The Hutterite colonies are, they're all the same family group, and they live in their own homes, but yet there's like they're all lined up together, and they all eat their suppers together. They have a big kitchen where they have the like their big meals together. Sundays they all eat at home because, of course, it's a day of rest. Um, and then the children, they're still going to school as part of the general, like the public school system. It's just that the school is strictly for Hutterite children. So it's quite an interesting way of things, but they have to still achieve the same standards as any other student in Alberta.
Oh, so it's not a private school situation necessarily.
It's no, not private at all. It's part of the
Got it.
regular school system here. So I worked for
Interesting.
the school system. I didn't work for the Hutterites.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
right now we are having a teacher's strike. So the
Oh, really?
kids are well, they went on strike at the beginning of October, the teachers, and the students are all at home now. So
Wow.
that's interesting development. We thought that that the government was going to make a back to work mandate for Monday, but it sounds like the premier is going to allow them to exercise their democratic right to strike. So
So the kids are not learning, there's no remote option happening, they're just
not that I'm
doing
aware of. I'm a
oh,
little
wow.
bit distanced now since my children are both grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
from what I hear, yeah, unless you're homeschooling your children, they're not getting formally educated right now.
Wow, that would never be allowed in New York City.
Yeah. Could you just imagine?
I can't even imagine.
No kidding. No kidding.
Beyond. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in fact, this morning I was at, we have the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame is just outside of Red Deer, and they're doing day camps there. And I was asked if I could come and do an art activity for them. So I created an art activity for, there was about 25 kids, and I enlisted my friend. She also has her own business doing similar things, and we worked together and presented a superhero themed landscape uh, project. It was acrylic paint, and they had to, how the bat signal with the ray going up into the sky, and
Right.
Batman's symbol is illuminated. We
Uh-huh.
did something like that, and they all turned out quite well.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta adapt, right?
Yes. Superheroes are a huge theme right now. I think we all wish we had them.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Would be helpful. Might get
Yes.
rid of some problems.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Um,
Okay.
all right. Are you ready for me to walk you through what we're going to do?
Absolutely. I'm all excited.
Okay, then I will just adjust my camera down so that you can see
Okay.
what I'm doing. That should do it. All right, so now this is one that I have started, and it is with acrylics. Um, this afternoon I was outlining my shapes with some gold marker with this oil-based marker, and all of a sudden there was this big puddle of paint right here in the middle of this shape, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, here's one of those creative opportunities I was talking about earlier today. And so I thought, okay, I've got the hot pink and I've got the yellow. What should I do? So I decided, well, our triad of colors, primary colors, we should go into blue. And so I decided to go teal and made another shape. And I plan to outline it with the gold as well, just for something to do. And that would be my background for a project. So that's one option.
Mhm.
I also have started a watercolor one. And so I think what I'll do next is do an inverted triangle just the opposite way in probably blues because that'll be nice. Uh, and then I do have my blow dryer handy, so we can, or I can get my paper to be dry. Um, are we doing this together? Is everybody having supplies?
Yeah, I have my
Yeah.
watercolors ready to go.
Okay.
So
So, well, how about
what should
we?
we be focusing on?
Well, I think that it is. Well, of course, I'll just grab my little deer. How about we look at a couple of examples before we jump in?
Okay.
So here is my deer that I had done before, and what I was trying to achieve with this specific project was to elicit some response and participation from males out there, because a lot of, being a female, I kind of gravitate toward more female things, right? So this one, yes, I thought, okay, grays, that's masculine, deer, that's masculine. Let's see what happens with that. So that's my first example. I think everybody saw the octopus,
Yes.
and I thought that turned out kind of interesting as a very oceanic theme. I think it's great for a great opportunity if you pick a theme to work on vocabulary with ESL students. Learning they can help teach the other children in their language what an octopus is, and the kids can learn and collaborate that way. Here's another one that I had done on Canvas. I understand that you're doing this in a school situation, so Canvas might be out of your budget reach. And so that's why I've pivoted to the watercolor or cardstock paper so that it's accessible to everybody.
Mhm.
This one is using a variegated thread, so it just naturally has the green and the pink. So I didn't switch colors to do that. That was the nature of the thread.
That's fun.
And then here I was experimenting. So I was trying to switch colors. My background dictated what color I would stitch. So the background was white, so then the stitch here was black. The background was green, so the stitch here was orange. And down here it was blue, and I think I put green thread. So it was more of an experimentation to see what would happen with that. And I don't know, it might not be my favorite thing, but it was fun to try.
Gotta love
And here,
experiment.
here is one other thing. This is something I did very recently. And this is just using cardstock. And it's very entry level in the sense that, right now, especially with it being Halloween, you should be able to get this is just the spider web stuff that you decorate your room with. And, the little spider, I just added a little extra paint to it so that it would stand out. And then this is just one thread. It's a sparkly crochet cotton. And it's super easy because if a kid runs out of time and the spider web is incomplete, that actually adds to the charm. You notice how I left some areas open because,
Yes.
you know, not every spider web is perfectly done. And you know, if they run out of time, they don't have to hit every hole that they make. So I drew lots of lines on the backside of it, but I didn't in the end stitch every one of those lines, and I think it's just a little more charming.
Is that little spider drawn on or glued on?
No, he's actually hot glued on there. He is just a plastic little decorative spider from you know, my Halloween stuff, and I just
Cute.
added a little bit of neon paint on it. So actually, that will glow in the dark now.
I-
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry
I
to
think it'll
interrupt.
glow in the dark, or it'll at least be blacklight reactive.
Could
Somebody
you
had a
just,
question?
yeah, could you just show the back side?
So on the back side, I just used
Okay.
pencil crayon to draw the lines,
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
yeah, and I started just going from corner to corner, just creating a basic spider web shape. And I framed it so that it would not be going all the way to the edges, right? Because you need a bit of a frame.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
yeah. So that is what we are going to attempt. So I think you should get out your choice of medium, whether it be watercolor or acrylic. And well, I also had some composition ideas, you know, because kids sometimes are not sure what they should do. They want a little bit of guidance, but you know, these are just various you know, ideas where you maybe just have two colors, three colors, you know, very easy to do. Because of course the project isn't necessarily about strictly the shapes, the background, but it is something to highlight and draw the attention to that shape, right? So those are some things that I started off with.
Should we keep the shapes geometric or can we do organic as well?
Well, as I had done this one was more organic, right, with the lily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of tempted to pluck out the one of the colors, so then it's all just one color, right? So that my, you know, my lily is maybe all orange. So I'm half a mind to say, you know, stitch rip out the black bits and give it a bit more so that it makes more sense.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, it was an experiment, but it just didn't, it went awry. So you can do organic shapes. And in fact, I think that, you know, string art was something that I wanted to do. That's in fact why I have all
Mhm.
this stuff, is because I wanted to do string art. And then I started doing string art, and this is an owl. I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but my pattern, I ended up with all this paper left on it after I went and removed it. And I was like, well, that's awfully frustrating. And getting all the nails in there, that was also frustrating. So this was kind of my pivot from the nails and the pounding, because of course, who wants to have 25 kids all with hammers and nails in a classroom?
Yeah, that's fun. And all the other classes around you, I'm sure, love that too.
Exactly. So I think any pattern that you have seen for a nail art style, you can do exactly the same way. You know, seeing as how, like with this one here, all the extra lines, it was just a geometric shape, so I was just filling in the lines. But the same thing can be done from the string art perspective. You know how you often will fill in the shape with the
Mhm.
thread to give it some volume and yeah, just to fill it out. I'm pretty sure you could do both, right? It's just now you don't have to listen to all the pounding.
Right. Right.
So so yes, now I think we should turn to getting into our background. like I said, I'm just going to add another triangle, I think, here just to invert it and give it that, I don't know, was that Pink Floyd-esque look?
Yeah.
So I invite everybody to start doing some painting. And of course, any questions, I'm right here. You anything you
You
want
could
to
either
ask.
raise your hand or you could type it into the messaging and I will relay the question if you like, if you don't want to put your mic on. I'm just watercoloring away.
My palette is a little bit dirty, but that's okay. Gonna
I
mix
always forget
colors
to
anyway.
clean mine when I'm done. My watercolor one. I'm always forgetting until I need it. I actually forgot about my hot air gun.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a hot air blower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab that, plug it in, and dry my paper. If anybody has questions, just
All right.
either raise your hand or put it in the chat.
Just curious, where do most of the images come from? So do the kids pick? Do you give
If
them, I don't know, different things they can pick from? Like, do they do their own drawings?
I think yes, could be for any is the answer to that. But
Okay.
honestly, if you want to, like, if it depends how complex you want to make the project. Honestly, I there are lessons on how to turn an image into a geometric composition. And that is always, of course, something that you could try. If you want to make this a big project, then I would, that's something to consider. But for myself, I think it's probably easier to go with a theme, and then at least you can limit, have, half a dozen or a dozen different already made shapes, whether it's a string art template or if it's a geometric that's already been like Steph gave us a whole bunch of resources in the introduction that were fantastic. So if you yeah, limit it. I mean, I've been looking for things that are more on theme. So like I said, I was looking for things for boys. So I also did one that has a cow on it. So you could also get, just do birds or just do farm animals, things like
Gotcha.
that.
Thank you.
A couple of years ago, I combined math with art and taught the kids how to do string art of parabolas and how to create curves
Oh,
and
that is such a
mandalas.
cool lesson.
Yep.
Yeah, they loved it. Once they got the hang of it, they loved it. So you could probably do those on any kind of background as well, and
Oh, for
anyone would like
sure.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very 70s because I remember the older kids at my school would make those the old school way with string art and the nails.
Mm-hmm. I loved that. I loved string art when I was a kid. But I did it with stitching into cardboard. So I had printed out, I gave the kids a choice of like, I don't know, 10 different parabolas and different mandala designs. And each student picked their own template. And then they taped the template to the cardstock and used a thumbtack to poke the holes into the template. And then they took it off and they did stitching with like crochet thread, the thicker crochet
Mm-hmm.
thread. And they all loved it. They all loved it.
Well, especially kids don't really get to play with that sort of thing anymore. We've seemed to really have gotten away from tactile stuff, in favor of technology. And so I really would like to inspire kids to experiment and give it a go. Like you don't know if you're going to like it or not because you haven't done it before. So you might only do it once and be one and done, but you have the experience, right? So,
Yep. I think it's important not only as a life skill to have some kind of awareness of stitching, but it's also great for kids who need occupational therapy to be able to learn how to follow, the pattern and hold the needle and up and down. It's very therapeutic in a lot of different ways.
oh, exactly. It's very meditative is definitely a word I would say because you have to uh, do that. It's repetitive. Also, it is interesting. The younger kids will forget that it is a pattern and that they have to go, if they go down, that they have to come up, right? And that it's a pattern. So if you've gone down, your needle has to go up, but sometimes kids will come over from the around the backside and go down again, and then they've got this big trail that's going from here to from under. Anyway, it ends up being this little tangle, and then they have to undo it, and chances are they'll have to rethread their needle, and that's always an experience. Um, of course, there are tricks on threading needles. So the turning a slip of paper into a little hot dog and then threading the paper through the eye of the needle is oftentimes much better than just trying to, because the edge of the thread will fray, and that makes it much more difficult for the kids to do the threading. But if you take that little slip of paper that will go into, whoopsie, let's not lose a needle. That would be bad.
Oh, you know what makes me the most crazy that kids do? And I don't know how they learned this or who taught them. They tie the thread to the
Oh,
needle.
yes.
Ugh, it makes me nuts. It makes me nuts.
Yes,
And
for sure.
all the holes become ginormous because of the knot in the needle.
Well, that's exactly right. Yes, and a lot of friction.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, this is a really, really big eye, as you can see, and so most children should have no trouble threading this. But like I say, that slip of paper can go, turned into like a little hot dog, and you lay the thread in the little hot dog valley, and then thread it through, and everybody's happy.
I think in the same way that the technology has taken the kids away from learning how to really write and hold a pencil and hold it correctly and drawing because everything is, with the thumbs on the phone or the keyboard, that anything that is a tactile experience in our classes is helpful for teaching their hands to be used in different ways than just for the digital age.
Oh, exactly, exactly. So, I probably should do a little bit of blow drying. So I'm just going to mute my phone for a second so that I can blow dry this.
Yep, I just did that too.
Okay.
I was just gonna share that I did a little bit of, making little stuffies like felt animals with kids, and they also struggled with threading a needle. And I learned you can get those little, plastic and then wire needle threaders on Amazon. Like you can get like a pack of 25 or 50 for like $5. Like they're really cheap. And you can
True.
also get them in bright neon colors, so if they drop them on the floor, you can see them.
Oh,
Oh, that's
well, that's
great.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah. But if you don't have the budget for that, piece of
yeah.
paper is completely helpful.
Yep. And if the thread frays, whatever you're using, little bit of glue from a glue stick on the edge of the thread or the yarn or whatever it is, totally helps also get it through that hole or the eye of the needle. I love this. We all have our little hacks.
I've used masking tape on the end of the thread to thread a needle. But I just wanted to say that I'm a graphic design teacher, and what inspired me to come to this particular workshop tonight was that I just finished a polygonal animal in Illustrator project. So digital, geometric animals. And my advanced graphic design kids are always looking for opportunities to do hands-on art projects. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
really excited to bring this lesson to them as an extension of the polygonal animal in Illustrator. So thanks
that
for
sounds
setting
perfect.
this up.
It's perfect.
I'm terrible for, well, not terrible, but I like to reuse my my painter's tape. As you can tell, it's already painted on, but honestly, if it's still good and sticky, why not, right? So I just stick it onto my placemat and then use it for something else. You can hear me, right?
Yep, we can hear
Okay,
you.
just wanted to make sure, since I had muted myself, and then wanted to make sure I had unmuted myself. I think I neglected to mention this, but of course you're going to need some surface to help with the poking of your needle. So, a cloth, a towel will work just as well for right now. But yeah, some old, a piece of cardboard from a box or whatever will work really, really well too. So now then,
Or
let's see. So
magazine or an old catalog also is
yes, exactly. A magazine, anything, just so that they're not poking into into their tables, their desks. Let's see there. Here's the light. Alrighty, so once you get your composition centered, you can just maybe add a little bit of tape so that you can check to see if you've done it. So of course mine has already been poked once before, so hopefully I'll remember to hit all of my little dots that I need to poke. But you're just
so
going now. If you have an awl, that'd be great. Oftentimes I start off with just something fairly small, and then if I have to make the hole bigger, then I will. But you're just going to poke all the little holes, and these geometric ones are nice because you don't have to think about the distance between your holes, right? It's already set. You know that that's going to work. Whereas when I did, like, say the chameleon, I had to eyeball it to try and keep my stitch length the same, like the distance between my holes about equal. But what I did with it basically is you start off with those, like all your little corner parts. You know that those are going to be where you need to have a hole, and then you just kind of adjust in between so that you don't have too long of a stitch.
so are we poking holes at every point, right? Every corner?
So on the geometric ones, yes. When I did the octopus one, I think it's the ones that are in the middle. It's subjective. You don't have to do all of them, but this one here, you could get them to do the outline first. But yeah, it's better to just do all the holes all at once and then go from there. So they should also pick something that's not going to overwhelm them. So if there's something that has a lot of holes and they're a really slow worker, you might want to help lead them to a better choice so that they actually can get it done.
Right. So how long does this generally take? How many sessions or class periods would you
So
say
when it
this would
comes
take?
to planning for this, what I would suggest is that you to do this part here perhaps at the end of a day so that it's ready, so that they're ready to start poking holes and it's all dry at the start of the next class.
Right.
So and then they can dedicate the, once you've done it yourself, you'll be able to judge how long your students are going to take to complete it, especially looking at your slowest students. I think, I don't know how long your art blocks are, generally speaking, but I think the key is that it's going to take longer than you think, and that you should also have a fast finishers uh, project so that the ones that do get done quick have something to do, because it is, it starts off slow, but then they get into the groove of knowing what to do and then they run with it, right? But sometimes, especially with dots and whatnot, kids have a hard time maybe visualizing what they're supposed to do. When I did this deer for the first time, I started off simple and I went and did, my outline with the darker color. I knew my antlers were going to be something different, so that, that was a predetermined. And then, this down here could have been the same color as the outline as well, but having a contrasting color helped to bring out the face a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Although you could just use all one color as well. I mean, there's, lovely variegated things that you can get, and with these crochet cotton, they come in quite big spools, so it's really handy for a classroom environment, or even just sticking to one color like white or black, and then it's more about the drama.
Right.
So it's quite, you can take it as far as complicated as you want, but also it can be as simple as you want too.
This could easily lend itself to all grade levels if it
Oh
was
yes.
simplified, yeah.
And you're probably better off giving kids a thumbtack to poke their holes, because then at least they have a handle.
Yeah.
I apparently did not grab a thumbtack. Nope, no thumbtacks behind me. So yeah, I would suggest a thumbtack just simply because it's has a handle. And then because we're using something pointy, I know that once they start to stitch, they might need to make their holes a little bit bigger, simply because it needs to accommodate the needle and the thread. And so then that's when you might have to use a little bit. They might have to go around and poke again just to accommodate, like without the needle threaded, and that way it doesn't tear the paper. Right? You want
Right.
there to be not too much friction, because if they go and get rough with it, it's going to, you're risking tearing, whether it's on paper or on canvas. Another big thing is to make sure that the kids have clean hands. I mean, this is white paper, and if my hands were, having graphite on them, suddenly my white is no longer white. So clean hands are important.
In general.
Yes. Well, in general, yes.
Yeah.
But because they're going to be handling it so much, right? Because they're going to be stitching, so they have to hold on to the paper. They're going to be going, in and out, in and out. And before you know it, those dirty hands, suddenly their background is a mess.
Right.
Whoops.
There we go.
I have to find a push pin.
I have to grab an awl. I was going to use a needle, but there's nothing to grab onto with that.
Well, the table that I'm working at is actually my sewing table, and my awl was just on the other side. So
Yeah.
that is what I used the first time. Makes life a little bit easier. And awl is nice because it you know it's goes from very pointy to much thicker, and so you can, you know, after you get your pattern off, you can make your holes a bit bigger just by pushing the awl in further. But chances are you don't have a classroom set of awls, so.
I actually do.
Oh, you do? Well.
Because I've done bookmaking, so I use
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes.
Very nice.
After 22 years in the same classroom, I pretty much have it all in my closet.
Well, yes, I guess you don't have to buy brushes every year, so why not buy a set of awls?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did I do? Oops. What did I do? Oh, goodness.
Just need to turn mine over to see if I've got all of my holes. See if that helps. There's lots of little holes.
Yeah, if there are a lot, that'll be hard to keep track of.
But if you look at it as you kind of roll the paper up and see that there's holes that correspond, like for your students, it should be pretty simple if the pattern hasn't been reused. I'm reusing a pattern, so the holes were already there. But you know that is the beauty of using a fresh pattern each time. I think I got them all. Now I have various sizes of needles here. I'm just trying to decide which one is going to, you know, I want to use the smallest one possible because that way I don't have to make my holes too much bigger. But it's still going to require that I take my awl and I go and poke those just a little bit deeper because it's going to take more. They need more clearance than just the tiny pinprick I made. But now I can at least use my hand to get behind there and make the depth to make the holes more in line with what I need for my needle.
I drew out my design earlier today, and then all I had to do was paint on top of it.
Oh,
And
cool.
maybe that might be a faster option for some younger kids.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That's a good idea. And
Yeah, I have only done it the one way because that's the way I've done it, but it's always interesting when, you know, people see it from a different perspective.
And then the thread will just hide the lines. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh boy, this is confusing.
So yeah, you definitely don't want to throw away your pattern after you've poked your holes, because you still need it as a roadmap of how the lines go. Or at least I do. But yes, the lady who said that she drew it right on there, then that is, you know, she has a point. I like it, because yeah, now the kids just have to cover up the lines with thread. You know what they say, work smarter, not harder.
We try, we try. Hmm.
Okay.
I can't
Okay,
decide
so
what
my
color to
next.
stitch.
So, and of course, this is art, so you don't necessarily have to do things true to life, but I was grabbing thread for this deer, and I thought, well, I'm just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to do it similarly. It's not exactly the same colors as I used before, because I think I'm out, but. So
So we tape the end of the yarn of the string rather, to the back of the
so
piece.
yeah, so when you are doing this on the paper, just like with the spider web, you'll need to let go. Yes, you'll just tape it on there. Do with the. So when I was doing it with the canvas, looking on the back side of the canvas, I actually tied a knot and then just treated it like sewing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then and then when I was ending it, I just wrapped it around the original threads to make the knot type thing. But I do like the taping option is a little, you know, kids don't necessarily know how to make knots, and this is a little bit easier so that the teacher is not stuck making knots all the time. Ask me how I know. I actually also taught the Hutterite girls how to. I started them on their sewing journey, because of course they sew all their own clothes, and so they need to be comfortable with the sewing machine. So I taught them quilting, and the mothers were just absolutely over the moon that their daughters were getting a head start on knowing how to use a sewing machine. And in fact, they often taught their mothers things about the machines themselves. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's great. I was going to ask if you taught the sewing by hand or by machine.
We did both. I would do some hand sewing projects with them when they were a bit younger. And then as they got older, we would move to the sewing machines, and they actually ended up making a wall hanging. And I walked them through different skill building blocks till they got done. It was about 3 feet by 3 feet, the finished wall hanging. So they were lovely. Right. So because there's very little friction, when you stick your needle into the hole, chances are when you go from bottom to top, if you just let it hang there, see, like this, and you go and let go it can just fall out. So they kind of have to coordinate their hands so that they can pinch the needle so that they can retrieve it from the top side. There's a bit of coordination that is involved, which is a good thing. I mean, I think that, well, as somebody who loves to do tactile things, I think everybody should know how to do it.
Yes, I agree completely.
Try to not put the tape on your holes because you oftentimes have to go through those holes multiple times, right? Because we've got lines that are going into the same hole multiple times, like right here. So you don't really want any tape right at that intersection and then have your needle get gummy from the tape, the residue. So we're just doing a simple back stitch is what I call it. That's what it is. So go ahead and then go back down where you just came up. And I recommend using only about 18 inches of thread at a time. It is less likely to tangle. And also because you're going through paper, the wear, depending on what kind of thread you're using, the fibers can start to fray. And so then all of a sudden your nice thin line suddenly gets kind of poofy because the friction is causing the fibers to separate from themselves. So try to keep, they're going to want to have long lengths, but they need to understand that we're not trying to torture them. We're actually trying to help them.
They don't always understand that.
No, it's true. Uh-oh.
So when you start the sewing, do you work from the inside out,
When
or
I start, I actually work, I like to work the outside of it, the framework of it, and then go back and add extra stitches if need be. Like this stuff in the middle here, I would do separate, but all of the outline of this deer right now, I would do with my dark color and his ears, doing just the outline, and then I would go into the lighter to do the fill work, right? So this is how I've done it already. So it's dark and then the inside is lighter.
thank you.
The antlers, of course, on this specific one, you would just have to fill it all in at the same time because there's really not like just work it at the same time as you come into your pattern. It's very forgiving though. If you, so long as you get your outside done, the geometric extra lines are just there to give it more texture and more dynamic look to it. So if the kids end up not getting everything done, it's mostly making sure that all the holes are filled with thread. That's the biggest thing. So DMC does have these absolutely beautiful variegated threads. If your school board has the budget, you know, that this can be really, really fun to use. And then the children only have to use the one thread and the natural variegation just is very eye-catching and they don't have to
Is that
think.
the pearl cotton?
No, no, this is actually the embroidery floss. So it's the 6 strand that's that you can separate.
Right.
Right. Versus something like this. This is not a pearl cotton, a crochet cotton. So this has, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but it's just gold, right? So that's kind of fun. And then I think this one is kind of, yeah. And if, you know, I actually picked up most of like all this crochet cotton I had picked up at thrift stores, and you get it for like what, 50 cents or $1 a ball, which is like pennies compared to how much you would buy at Michael's or that sort of thing. Amazon
I love the
also has
clearance. I love the
stuff
clearance
too.
section at Michael's.
Pardon me?
The clearance section at Michael's always has yarns and cotton threads and all of that stuff
Oh,
too.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm doing a glow in the dark, a neon black light activity next week. And I have a black light flashlight, and I was going around my sewing room or my crafting room looking for things that would glow. And there were actually some of these, I think it was like this color in here and maybe this one here. There was a few skeins that were glow in the dark. And I thought that was kind of cool. So I went and separated them. Just
That's
for,
gotta be really neat.
yeah. So I mean, they're very colorful. These variety packs that you can get off of Amazon, you know, and they're very affordable as well, if that's an option for you.
I didn't know there was glow in the dark thread.
There is.
Huh.
Oh. Yeah.
Everybody's so quiet. There must be engaged.
I think so. I hope so. That's what happens in the classroom, right? You know that
Yeah.
they're into it when it suddenly goes quiet. So are you guys having challenges with the whole 6-7 phenomenon?
I still don't understand what that is.
No, neither do I.
I gave in today. We were making trading cards in my art club, and they kept saying it, and I just like started to make 3D 6-7 on my trading card and putting all these patterns in it. And they're like, "Why are you making it pretty?" I'm like, "Listen, you guys say it to me all day long. I have to draw to make it go away."
Can somebody explain to me what it actually is?
So,
It's
oh,
oh, go ahead.
no. Oh no, I was just gonna say I Googled it and it has a variety of references. And the two references that they're most likely using it from is one, a sports video. And then some people said it was a basketball player who's 6'7". There's also a rap song that refers to 6'7". And then the one meaning that also came up was it's a police code for like a found dead body. So there's a variety of
Oh,
meanings.
wow.
Most of them are referring to some sports video or a rap song.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And half of them have no clue what it means. They just think it's like a cool thing to say, like, "Oh, awesome!" They go 6'7".
Because
But
it's a meme, right? And I haven't heard it at my high school yet, so I don't know.
I have the impression it's more of a middle school thing
yeah,
myself,
It's
but
so
I could be
weird.
wrong.
The things
definitely.
these
My
kids latch onto, it's you could never like guesstimate what the next thing is going to be because one thing is crazier than the before.
I still have some students like, every couple days, all of a sudden, someone will just shout out "chicken jockey" in the middle of class. Like,
Chicken jockey.
yeah,
Now, what is that?
I think it's from the Minecraft movie where there's like a I think someone, a Lego guy or Minecraft guy, riding a zombie chicken thing. I Googled it. It's very innocuous. It's just very bizarre because they will literally be working quietly, and all of a sudden, someone just goes, "chicken jockey," but not as many kids laugh anymore. So it's on its way out.
That's a good thing, I guess.
It makes you think about the sort of stupid things that we did when we were in school, though, you know, just
Yep.
to basically annoy our teachers.
We probably had to be more creative because we didn't grow up with computers and the digital age and social media. At least I didn't. I didn't have any of that stuff.
No, I agree.
That's so funny.
I'm just trying to watch how you're doing this. So after you put it in, you repeat it, you go back,
Well,
and
it's called a back stitch, right?
yeah.
So you always have to backtrack, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to come up down over here to finish this line.
Right.
And look at that. You'd think I measured it. Like, how
Yeah.
awesome was that? Because that's the outline of the deer, right? So I'm done with that color and I'm within just a couple inches.
Okay.
And I didn't measure that.
I'm
You're
taking a
basically
picture.
kind of looping backwards, making
Yeah.
a loop over and over and over again.
Seeing the back helps. So the back is not gonna look like the front.
No, it's not. It's not going to
Okay.
be a mirror image.
Okay.
No.
Okay. This makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that's the back, and here is the front.
Yeah. It was a long day, so by the time I got home, I'm like, yeah, I'm just watching.
I can appreciate that. Anybody keeping track of the World Series? Baseball?
No, I'm not a sports person at all.
Well, neither am I, but the Toronto Blue Jays have made it to the finals, and so every Canadian is now a Blue Jays fan.
When was the last time that happened?
1993 is the last
Oh, wow.
time we were in the World Series finals. So it's been a minute.
Yay.
So everybody's very excited. Apparently I forgot to grab myself some scissors. Oh, luckily there's some right over here. So after my daughter moved out of the house, I have a sewing room that is right next door to her bedroom. And she moved out, and her room then became the painting and whatnot room. So now I have two areas to craft.
Mom, does that sound familiar?
Well, that's what I had
Yes.
and what I miss terribly.
A sewing room and a painting studio.
That's the best that you can have. That's wonderful.
If you can. Yes.
It does make life simpler, that's for sure. Although I think I could use a third room.
My dining room has become half of a studio too. So it's like my studio has spilled out onto my dining room.
Yes, there have been times where I've been like, okay, there's too big of a mess here. I'm going to go upstairs to the kitchen table.
Yes. or the couch. It's funny. There are days that I come home from work and I want to make something, do something creative, and I don't have the energy to sit in the studio. So I'll bring a pile of stuff to put next to me on the couch, and then I'll just play while I'm on the couch.
That works too, especially.
Yeah, I saw a meme of this on social media that somebody else, they actually had a video of themselves carrying their pile of art supplies and plunking it down on the couch next to them, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only person in the world who does that.
I hate to break it to you. They make coffee tables where you open them up and you hide all your art supplies or whatever you want, like magazines, but you hide your art supplies in the coffee table, and then it's that's what I have. And then it has a hinge and it closes, so nobody can see that they're there until you open it up.
Oh my God.
That's smart.
You should not have told me that.
I will just share my I'll share my coffee table. I don't know if you could see that.
I see lots of art making stuff all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, and then the whole thing lifts
That's
up.
your coffee table?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I can't see what you see, but the whole top lifts up.
Coffee table envy.
And then art supplies underneath.
Yes.
That sounds like a
Sorry.
Cadillac coffee table.
Seriously.
That's literally why I bought it, because I could hoard art supplies, and then if company comes over, I just close the top. Oh, sorry.
I
Goodness.
love that. We are all the same breed.
Now I'm just having to refer to my, because the antler is a little more complex. I'm having to refer to my drawing so that I actually get my holes in the right, my needle in the right hole.
Yeah, I've been flipping back and forth
Yeah.
just to make sure I'm going the right way.
I was really
wonder-
pleased with how the spider web one came out, because it was more of a lark when I did that one.
I like that one. That was really cute. You're gonna hang it in your room next week?
Oh,
You're not in a classroom, sorry.
I'm not in a classroom, no.
Right.
But I showed it to my advanced art class, and they thought it was cool, so that's good.
You should hang it in your window at home.
Well, it's just we're out in the farm, so nobody's gonna see it.
Oh, okay. So you're
I
in a
live out in the country, so
rural spot. Gotcha.
yes.
Okay.
I wonder if it would be a good idea to photocopy these printouts on cardstock paper and then let the students watercolor their design on first and then just follow the lines with the thread.
That
Do you
sounds like
think-
a brilliant idea. I love that.
You know,
Especially if you could photocopy it more in a grayscale as opposed to a straight up black scale. And then it's, it's there, but not super strong.
Or even a pale blue or
Yeah.
the gray, the palest gray. Yeah.
Well, what if it was on the back?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that would
'cause
work.
I was sitting here thinking that similar, but to print it onto the back. And so they make their holes from the back and then sew it from the front. And
That sounds like a brilliant
paint or
idea.
use marker on the front.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea.
Because I teach elementary,
Mm-hmm.
5th and below, and I do some weaving and sewing. But I have to make sure I can make it so that everybody can do it.
Oh, exactly. No, I love your way of thinking. That sounds brilliant.
I would only be concerned with the marker when they started painting on top because it might smear. So maybe just having the photocopy already done from the, onto the cardboard, the cardstock, might not smear as bad for the little
I
ones.
wouldn't use the watercolor at all. I would put the design on the back. I'll try it at school. Put the design on the back.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
all you can do is try.
and then color the front with watercolor marker instead of regular watercolors.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it doesn't work, but
That's right.
I wonder if you could feed a thinner watercolor paper through a laser printer. And then would the laser ink run?
It shouldn't. You just have to make sure it's 8.5 by 11 paper and not 9 by 12.
Right.
Yes, you'd have to cut it down.
which I found it hard to find.
So yeah, you would have to cut it cut it down to size.
Yeah, which can be a daunting task.
Oh, I have to tell you guys, I bought last year a guillotine paper cutter for
Ooh.
cutting bulk papers. Like you could cut through a whole pack of paper in one shot. And it was
Wow.
the best thing I ever bought. In New York City, the teachers get a kind of a stipend from the city called Teacher's Choice. You get like $235 a year. And so out of that, you can buy classroom supplies or equipment or whatever, as long as you get approval. And I bought this thing, and it is the best thing I ever bought.
Could you put like the name of it in the chat or
Oh my gosh,
brand?
I'm trying to remember. It's I bought it from a heavy equipment distributor that starts with an H. It's 2 words. Oh wow. What the heck was it? I'll search it on my phone.
That's okay.
No, I'll get it because I highly recommend for any art room. It's beyond amazing. Um, 18 paper cutter.
This one. I just realized I missed a hole, so I'm going to have to eyeball it. Oh. Apparently my husband is doing home improvements now. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was a very loud no. Oh, no, that's not even the right spot. Oh. There we go. If they do have to undo a stitch, instead of using the pointy end of the needle, it's best to actually take the eye of the needle and hook it underneath the thread that needs to be repositioned and then pull it through. And then that way the pointy part isn't going to get in between the fibers and potentially disrupt the way that they lay.
I think I only spent like $170 on it too. Now I can't find the name of
Wow,
the
that's
company.
really
Yeah.
affordable.
It is really, and I'm in love with it.
This is fascinating because I know a few years ago, oh, actually more than a few years ago, I gave away my paper cutter. Then I bought a new one, the same kind, and the quality had gone down so much.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like I think one of like the I don't know if it's a zero, yeah, it's the Exacto one that when you Google it, it shows up. It's like brown and black, but now I'm seeing some that are for bookbinding that must be the sort of like the type you bought.
I think yes, this is what it looks like. I think it was Vivor, because this
Yeah,
looks
that's coming up. Yeah,
exactly. Can you see that? Can you guys see that
sort of. Yeah.
there?
Yes. Okay.
That's the one, and it's on a listing for Vivor, Vevor, heavy duty industrial commercial guillotine paper cutter, and it's only 139.56.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And if you
Oh, it
buy
is.
like a pack of you can cut, a ream of copy paper, you can cut half of a ream at a time. Right? Right? Yes. It makes life so much easier if you buy a pack of cardstock or tag board. You can cut that thing down in 2 seconds. It's highly recommend.
That's crazy.
Yes. It's because I cannot keep the old fashioned normal ones sharp. They wear out and then they start tearing the paper. The blades get dull so quickly, and instead of just replacing, I don't even know who to find to fix the blade or resharpen the blade, and this thing has been amazing. Just keep it out of the way of all the kids because it'll take a finger off.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. But for ease of our daily life with paper cutting, it's the best thing I ever bought. For sure.
So do you have educational assistants in your art rooms out of curiosity? Do they just come with a student?
The only assistant I would have is not there to assist me. They are attached to an individual student. They're called paraprofessionals. So they follow
Okay.
a specific student from class to class to make sure, that they're doing okay. They don't have any issues. They do help me out in the classroom, but their main job is to make sure that the student is getting their work done and doesn't have any issues and is getting,
Oh,
so
yes. Yeah. Yes, I was very fortunate. I actually went from I started off as an educational assistant for a student who had mobility issues and he needed help with his toileting. And as he grew, our classroom grew. And then basically when he no longer needed me, I just moved into being a general classroom assistant.
uh-huh.
And that is about the time when I started doing I took the art on for the teacher so that she could focus on teaching the social studies and science curriculum while I had them the other half of the class would be with me doing art.
Right.
So it was I was an educational assistant, but I definitely did more than just assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have good paras in the classroom, they'll help everybody.
Yeah.
They'll go around the room. They won't hover over their student. They'll go around the room and work with anybody who needs the help, which is helpful.
Oh, of
But
course.
yeah. But the priority, yeah, we don't get assistance
Mm-mm.
Oh.
at all. Yeah.
It's fascinating. I have a friend who spent many years teaching internationally, and at least where the country she taught in, it was pretty common. She was the art teacher, and she would always have at least one assistant who, would just help her with the prep and, behavior. Where here in the US, I think it's
Yeah.
very uncommon for an art teacher to have an assistant in their room.
Yeah. It doesn't happen. And there is so much more physical prep work
Mhm.
for us than any other
Yep.
content area.
Oh, exactly.
But it just doesn't happen. There's not enough of a budget for it.
And most of the paras that have been in my classroom are on their phone. They're not even paying attention to the student they're servicing. I've had
Oh my
a
goodness.
I've had a couple of good paras in my most recent school and a couple in like my previous school, but like it's really hit or miss with the
Yeah.
paras that I've encountered. And then you get content area teachers who teach like ICT, integrated co-teaching. They always have like a special education and a gen ed teacher, which is great, and they work very closely together, and there's this beautiful like teaching relationship that goes on in most cases. But
Yes.
with a minute that ICT class comes to the art room or the music room, we lose the special ed teacher, sadly.
Wow.
That's probably because that's their lunch period or their prep period or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm used to doing it all, you know, without the help, and it's just the way it is, unfortunately. I mean, if you have kids who work well and they are done quick, you can, make them class monitors and have them help you, or have them help other kids if they need it, circulate for extra credit or whatnot. But there's no other adults unless they're attached for another reason.
Well, obviously I was very spoiled. It was a wonderful experience. It's too bad it came to an end, but
I bet.
then I, started doing
Nothing.
stuff on my own and trying to introduce to kids more of this, uh, more art. It's interesting though, people don't seem like, because of course my classes that I do now are something that you have to pay for. And I'm constantly running into that, oh, you charge for that kind of thing, when it's like, yeah, I mean, it costs money to rent a space. It's interesting, the priority for hockey and those sorts of extracurriculars. People don't think twice to drop money on that, but art, sometimes that's not quite so readily embraced.
Yeah.
So it's too
When
bad the
people
arts are.
find out that I've been doing this for 5 years for free, they're like, "Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?" So many hours go into, planning and stalking people to teach the
True.
classes, and do all the social media advertising and the mailing lists, and they're like, "You're out of your mind." I said, "Well,
Maybe a
it
little.
what?
Maybe a little bit.
I'm a little bit out of my mind, but you know what?
Yes.
When I started this, it was because we all needed it. We needed
Yes.
it was during COVID. We all needed to come together and help each other out to get through it. And I
Hmm.
think it became just a place where we all needed to nurture each other. And
Well, and you've created a community for yourself too.
yeah, yeah. It's nice, and I look forward to it. It is exhausting, all the, planning of it and all. But
Yeah.
it started under the UFT, the United Federation of Teachers, and when I go to the conferences for NYSADA or the New York or any conference, sometimes they will reimburse the expenses, depending on where it is. So that's my takeaway, which is good because those can be pretty pricey. But yeah, otherwise I'm doing this because it's important and people need it and I need it, you
Well,
know.
exactly. I think if you didn't need it so much, you would perhaps let it go, right? It would be a slow evolution where it would suddenly disappear. Going from maybe twice a month to once a month to once a quarter to you
Right.
know.
And then
But
be like, when I
it's
retire,
giving.
I'll be like, sayonara.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm trying to figure out because Tina, you saw when I asked you to fill out the form to do this, and in order to not get audited from, for the organization that I do this through, everybody's got to cover their butts in terms of being um covering the necessary things that check off boxes to make sure that we're doing the things that are required for the CTLA crediting and all
Well,
of that
yes, to
stuff.
get the credit, that is definitely a
Right.
bonus, right?
Well,
Be-
this only happened 2 years ago when I was brought onto the NYSADA board under the professional development, and I didn't know at that time that I was supposed to be doing all of that. And when the new president took over, she went through all of the bylaws and everything. Like, no, you have to make all the facilitators do this. And I'm like, well, I wasn't told this. And they're like, yeah, we know, and it's a lot of work, and usually it's more than a one person job. I said, well, yeah, because there's a lot to keep track of now. But when I started this, it was just like literally a club with no CTLE. You know, we just all got together. And the thing is people's rationale is, if I'm going to sit for an hour and a half, even though it's art making, I want to get something out of it, you know. So the
Well,
attendance increased when we offered CTLE credit, but it requires a lot more on the back end now.
yeah.
So
So I mean, it does make it far more of a everybody's getting something out of it type thing. Your position as doing this is validated because people want it, and people want it because they're getting
right.
some professional. You know, they're twofold, right? So I get it, and that's fine. I was just worried that I would fall short in helping you guys
Oh
have the
no.
credit.
No, as long as, you know, they're hitting their bullet points that have to be covered, and you're hitting your bullet points. Is my rationale is, when this stops being fun and it's more work than I want to be doing on my own time for free,
Right.
that's when I'm going to say I've had enough.
That's right. And
Um,
pass the torch
yeah.
on, or get rid of the program, right? And it's one or the other.
Or I'll just leave the CTLE behind and
Yeah.
continue this just as our community, because I don't want to be bogged down, you know? And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, but we'll see. I told, you know, I said I would do this until I can't. And
And that's
that's it.
all they can ask, really.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, thank you for doing it. I know I'm not in New York,
Thank
and
you.
I don't know if we have anything like this in my state because I'm in a small state, but I've yet to hear about anything. So
If you're part of an art teacher association in your
I'm
state,
not.
you're not.
I'm not. So I quit my job in 2020, and now I've just been doing long-term subs or like teaching after school or in summers. So like right now,
Mhm.
I'm just doing a long-term sub for an art teacher. So I just can't justify paying it, paying the fee. But I think they just do like one meeting a year, and that's it. And it's pretty rural, so
Ah, okay.
yeah.
So if you started your own club for your state, you'd end up like me, basically. Yeah.
That or I don't know how many people would do it. I have no idea. Um,
You know what's funny? When I started this, my intention was to give New York City art teachers a place, a club, right? And then I started advertising it all over Facebook, and people from all over the country
yeah,
started coming, and when they would talk about where they're from, I'm like, you're in Washington State? Like, how does this happen? I have more people from outside of New York coming on a regular basis than New York City art teachers.
interesting.
How crazy is that? And I got an email. I don't know how many, if any of you were with us last week for last week's session, but the day after, I got an email from one of our community members. Believe it or not, the first time I heard from her, I almost hit the floor. She's in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, so she's like 12 hours ahead or behind. Yeah, it's ahead. And she said to me, she can't wait until January, because then she can attend our sessions live instead of watching all the recordings. And she wants to be part of our group because she loves the recordings. And I was just floored, because she must be, her summer or her mid session or whatever must be in January, when she's not working, so she'll be able to stay up and hang out with us. And I was just like, this is the coolest thing. It brings the world so much closer, you know, and it really reminds you that we're all in the same boat. Doesn't matter where on the planet we're from, right?
Oh, exactly.
I love it. I love it. This is
And I think
mind-blowing.
that's probably what keeps you going with it, is that diversity, and knowing that you are providing people with what they need.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely true.
I
I'm happy.
remember I saw you at Nisada doing felting, and you talked about the art club. And so I joined on Facebook. I joined the New York City art teachers because I'm in upstate New York, way upstate. And I've been on here ever since. And I don't need the credit for my certification, so I never apply for it. I just
Right.
love when I have time to get on here with other art teachers and artists and indulge a little bit.
Yep.
It's really an indulgence. And it shouldn't be, but it gives me, I don't know, something.
And we all speak the same
Yeah.
language,
It gives me
you know?
joy.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
I
you
remember
did
finding this.
Sagamore.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then you did Sagamore. So now you're like totally part of the club.
Well, and I don't even get to see your workshops half the time anymore because I'm doing my own. I'm only doing 2 this year.
Me too. I'm doing 2 this year
I'm
also.
not doing
Thank
3
you, Jen.
again.
I saw your comment. I think Kristen is doing 1 or 2 also. I'm teaching one Saturday on Long Island, um, this weekend. And she's doing one also this weekend on Long Island.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm in Syracuse
Yeah, you're all the way.
up. Not all
How
the way
far
up.
is Syracuse from, so you're not that far from Binghamton.
A
Karen,
little,
you're going to be at my workshop on Saturday? Oh my God. Look at that.
yay.
Karen. Yay.
Well, that's fun.
What a small world. Oh my God. I can't wait to see you. That's awesome. I'm very excited. You don't need
I,
CTLE credits either, but oh, thank you, Bethany. I appreciate it. Thank
I'm
you.
doing a
Thank
workshop on Tuesday for the Oswego County BOCES.
you. So you're all an upstate in the upstate world.
Yeah,
Do you
I
know that
grew,
many times I see on social media that they're promoting really cool workshops with all of our Sagamore people, and it's 3 hour, 4 hours away, and it's like I can't go to that, but they're so cool, and I wish we had the live events,
oh,
where we get together.
the
Yeah.
Buffalo ones are, they're almost 2 to 3 hours away from me. But
How far are you
yeah,
from Binghamton?
Binghamton, I want to say in like an hour and a half.
Oh, so you're really close.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty close, yeah. But I, yeah, I'm closer to the Canadian border via the Thousand Islands than I am to New York City. That's what I
So you,
tell people
you could go
outside of
visit Tina.
here.
You could go
Uh,
take a workshop with Tina.
I'm in Western Canada.
Alberta,
Oh,
right?
totally other side of the country.
Tina,
Yes.
these
Yes.
are great. Like I'm loving the deer in the triangle. Like this is really cool. And yeah, I'm even in my head coming up with ways like people said, do the photocopy that might be better for younger students or
Oh,
students
exactly.
with special needs, but that are in the classroom. And then older students, they might need the challenge of having the paper separate and then having to compare looking back and forth.
Exactly. So I'm going to say you can also, if you have, I think the geometric ones are great because they've already got the laid out plottings of where the needle is going to go. So that is definitely more of an entry level. And when you go to more of something like this, then, your kids that need a greater challenge, having to figure out the spacing on these bits is can be challenging. So, that's another, them learning how to eye things up is it, that's a skill that requires practice. So, I mean, and if you look closely, some of my stitches are pretty big and some of them are kind of small. So it's one of those things that until somebody points it out to you, that these are things that you need to consider. I just was winging it, but because I've done it now, it's like, okay, yes, these areas, maybe they should only have 3 stitches each because, they're about equal size. So trying to divide those into 3 instead of, sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 4, depends on how you want to look at that. But I think it's a great little activity and introduces kids to needle and thread. Why not? So,
I think every kid should be introduced to needle and thread.
oh, me
It's
too.
like a life skill that everybody should be taught and everybody should know.
I think that we as humans are quite tactile, so I think it does answer a calling to oneself to be able to do that.
Yes.
And if they can draw, it's no different than drawing lines. It's just you're drawing lines with thread. So if they, if they're really obstinate about the whole, it's sewing, it's girl work, that sort of attitude, it's like, no, you're just making lines with a different medium.
Exactly.
And also, tailors used to be men, and sewing is a skill everyone needs, especially if they're camping, their tent breaks, you know, yeah.
When
Their
you lose a
pants
button,
split.
do you throw the shirt away? Like,
No, yeah.
what? Some
Do
people
you
do,
know
though.
how many boys have come to me because they've split their pants and ask me to help them sew them back together, and I say, I'm not going to do that for you, but I'll give you a needle and thread because I taught you how to do that. And they're like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, I can.
My
Uh-huh.
my future son-in-law actually, well, he's also a farmer, and he has a habit of squatting down to do things without pulling his pant. How you go and pull your pants up a little bit
Yeah.
to accommodate the squat. He always seems to forget to do that, and then he blows the butt out of his pants. And this spring I repaired, I think it was 4 or 5 pairs of pants for him, and it doesn't sound like they lasted very long. So it's too bad because jeans are not cheap.
No, not anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah. So
I didn't even this session has gone by so quickly. It's 20 to 9, almost a quarter
oh
to 9. Yeah.
oh
Um,
my.
do you guys want to do a quick share out to see where we're at? I have not finished mine, but here's
Oh,
ha-
oh, look at the
half
elephant. How lovely.
half of an elephant. It's my spirit animal. I love spirit animals.
I knew you would do the elephant.
Of course I would. What else would I do? So who
Of
else wants to
course.
show off? Anybody else do this? I see
I've
Jean.
just been watching.
Oh, that's so cute. A butterfly.
Is that a
And
pig?
they did a cute pig. Oh my God, it's adorable. You got so much done. I feel like I'm not making any progress. I'm going so slow. These are
That's
great.
okay. You go at your own pace and you get the meditative benefits out of it. I think that's fine.
Guess where I'm taking this when we sign off?
To the
To the
couch.
couch.
Well, and see, I'm
Absolutely.
experienced. I've done this pattern before, so I'm done.
Thank you, Tina. This was really, really great and so easy and so adaptable
Mm.
for
But
every
still
grade
very
level.
impactful. Like it does
Yes.
have punch.
Yes. It's very dramatic,
Yes.
right? With the stitching and depending on, and I printed out all of these different things and you could do it. How cool would it be? Oh my God, I just had an idea. What if you had the kids, if you want to take this to a higher level, have the kids open up a self-portrait or a selfie and do the lines of their own faces print it out as a template, and then stitch their faces onto a painted background.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That would be cool. That would be cool. So then you could teach them, this would be so many layers. So you could teach them digital art or Photoshop or whatever in creating the vector lines, and then the watercolor, and then the stitching on top of that. Oh my God, that would be a really fabulous project.
You better write it down so you don't forget.
Yeah, this may be something I'll have to teach at the next conference. Oh my God.
Luckily, you have
I
a
will
video
credit
recording
you.
to remind you.
I will totally credit you with the idea, and the extension. Oh my God, that's a cool idea. Yay! All right,
So
girl.
exciting.
I know, I know. I have kept you all long enough, but this went so fast and so fun, and thank you for coming and joining us tonight. Our next session, I think, is the first week or second week of November. I have to double check my dates, but you guys all have the dates for the upcoming sessions. Next time I see you will be November. Wow. Well, have a good end of October. Stay safe on Halloween. Don't get involved in any crazy stuff. Oh my God, I totally forgot to post the Google form. See? See? Thank you, Karen. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. There's the Google form. If you need, please fill it out for attendance, even if you don't need the CTLE credit. Fill it out for attendance, and then if you need the CTLE credit, put in your birthday and the last four of your social, and you should get the certificates next week, because I have to send it to my partner and they'll forward it to whoever has to take care of it. Okay?
Do I need to
Everybody
fill
has,
out anything?
you could put your name in because you're gonna get a certificate for running the class. And as I said, you'll have that on your resume, and you can say you did this. And we broke the ice for you with the online
My internet
document.
fame has started. Yeah.
Yes, now you're a tech wizard, sort of. I thought I gave everybody edit access. Oh, see, this is where, man. All right, hang on 1 second. I thought I made it shareable. Hold on. Share. Share. Anyone with the link. Editor. There we go. That's what I have to do. Okay, let me know if that works now. Just refresh it. Is it working now? Anybody? Karen, Faye, is it working? Yes. Okay. All right. So then we can go now.
Well, thanks
Oh
so
my
much for
gosh.
having me.
Oh, Tina, you are a super sport. I know you jumped through a lot of hoops to get this prepped, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and your ideas, and I hope you will continue to join us. Maybe even do it again sometime after you've had a chance to catch your breath. Let me know if you're ever interested. I will not stalk you. I promise. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great end of October and stay safe, everyone.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye,
night.
Mama. Talk to you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
It's good to
Good
see y'all.
night. You too. And Karen, I'll see you this weekend.